This section is going to be about Panama, okay, and the Panama Canal. So if you remember the story, during the Spanish-American War, we realized because of the battleship Oregon going all the way around to get to Cuba right here, that we needed a shortcut, okay? A shortcut that would cut the time of travel between the oceans in a third, all right? So Roosevelt wanted this shortcut from the Atlantic to the Pacific. France had already tried it, okay? France tried it and failed miserably because the men that were sent from France kept dying by the thousands, by the tens of thousands. The workers were dropping dead from some mysterious disease as they dug this trench that went from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. And they gave up. They completely gave up on it. So Colombia, the country Colombia, which is right here, they owned Panama at the time. That was part of Colombia, okay? And they had already sold the rights to the French at the time. So Roosevelt made a deal with Colombia. Let's see. Yeah, let me go through that deal. Okay. So the deal was like $40 million, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, for the rights to build the Panama Canal. Now, we went to the French and we paid them for their rights. So as far as we're concerned, okay, we actually owned the rights to build the Panama Canal. Well, Colombia, the country that it's actually in, said, I don't think so, you gotta pay us. Okay? Well, but they sold their rights, right? So Roosevelt goes to meet with the Colombians and he says, listen, I will pay you, $10 million. And the Colombians agree. And then they contact Roosevelt again and they say, it's not enough. So after hands were shaken and contracts were signed, the Colombians backed out of the deal. And Roosevelt's foreign policy, if you'll remember, is big stick diplomacy. Speak softly but carry a big stick, okay? So what Roosevelt did is he showed Colombia the big stick, okay? So anyway, we have a political cartoon here, okay? And we're going to get to that story in just a second. We have Teddy Roosevelt. You can always tell him in political cartoons. He usually is wearing a cowboy hat or a bandana around his neck to show the Rough Riders connection. And he always has his glasses on. Okay, you can see him here. And a lot of times he has a cowboy, well, I already said that, cowboy hat. Sometimes he has a big stick as well. Right here, you see Teddy Roosevelt, larger than life, this giant, right? And he is digging the Panama Canal himself. And all the American ships are waiting to get through, okay? Now, if you notice, he is shoveling the dirt on Bogota. Bogota is the capital of Colombia. That's why it says that right there. So he's basically, drowning them in dirt. Anyway, so let's talk about how we got the Panama Canal specifically, okay? Well, let's get through this one first, okay? Roosevelt, big giant guy, big stick diplomacy, and he has a fleet of ships following him on a string, and he is so larger than life, and he can walk around in the Caribbean Sea, okay, and not drown. Anyway, so what Roosevelt did was pretty brilliant strategy-wise. Okay, I'm going to have to go back up to the map to show you what he did. So, all right, Panama is right here, this little tiny piece. This is Colombia. So what Roosevelt did is he took his fleet, the American fleet, one of the best in the world, and he blockaded the coast on both sides of Panama. So at that time, he told the Panamanian people, the people that lived in this little tiny strip, he said, now it's time to rebel. So the people of Panama rebel against Colombia. Colombia cannot send their ships to actually reinforce through the sides because America's big stick, our Navy, is patrolling the area, and Colombia does not want to tangle with America. That would be like a full-grown man getting in a fight with a toddler, okay, at this point. So the only course of action they have is to go through this little tiny piece, which was very well defended by the Panamanians. Colombia has to give up. Panama declares their independence, And immediately, within 1 hour, telegraph comes over the lines, and Teddy Roosevelt says, "We recognize Panama as an independent nation and ally of the United States of America." So if Colombia attacks Panama, what's going to happen to Colombia? They're going to be absolutely destroyed. So it's checkmate, okay? Panamanians get their freedom. We get the canal. The Colombians get nothing because they backed out on the deal with Roosevelt. So that is an example of big stick diplomacy. He is using excessive force, a show of excessive force. He's not actually using the force, okay? His big stick is his navy. He's using it to intimidate Colombia to get them to back down, and it totally works. So, we got through all this already, and now you can see the blockade, right? Right? All right. Let's see. The U.S. got the rights to build and operate the Panama Canal for 99 years from that point on. The U.S. paid France $40 million, and we paid Panama $250,000 a year, okay, in order to get this done. So we got one more political cartoon for this video. I like this political cartoon. I've never seen it on a leap test, but I like it because it takes two events from Roosevelt's life and it puts them into one political cartoon. So you can see Roosevelt and the Rough Riders right here, and instead of guns, they have shovels. So it's mixing the Battle of San Juan Hill with the digging of the Panama Canal, all in the same, the same thing. And again, look at Roosevelt's uniform. It's yellow again. Y'all see that? His men are all in blue. It's in yellow, and it's to distinguish him in this political cartoon as different from the rest. Remember, on that day, San Juan Hill, he had the same uniform as his soldiers. Okay? So tomorrow, or next video, we're going to talk about how we built the Panama Canal, how it works, and how useful it is.